It is my great honor now to welcome the 2016 World Citizen, my friend, the fourth Chancellor of Charlotte's Urban Research World-Class University, the Chancellor of UNC Charlotte, Phil Dubois.
On behalf of the World Affairs Council of Charlotte, we proudly present you with the 2016 World Citizen Award. Congratulations, Phil.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This is tremendous. I know it's getting late, so as Elizabeth Taylor said to each of her 8 husbands, I won't keep you long. Now, thank you again. You know, not to begin my remarks on a somber note, but when I earned my Medicare card this year, I thought I should start talking to Lisa about my funeral arrangements. Should I be hit by a truck while still sitting as Chancellor? And I told her that I thought it would be important to have a big, expensive service where we could play my favorite country music, tell a few funny stories, and have my friends say nice things about me. So Lisa, this is it. You're off the hook. I've died and gone to heaven. Thank you. Erskine, thank you so much for being here, for those wonderful, generous remarks, for being such a good friend to Big Al and to me. Although he implied it, he didn't say it. During the 5 years that I worked for Erskine, he called me his favorite PITA, P-I-T-A, pain in the, you fill in the blank. What a nice thing that I could be a PITA and end up with such a great friend. Erskine, thank you. Thank you, Erskine. Now, let me say one thing about Erskine. I get a lot of credit for that Center City building, but Erskine put it at the top of the list in his first session as president, and that building is due to him. I appreciate the Taylor Swift music as we came in tonight. The Dubois family attended Taylor's concert here last year. I'm pretty sure I was the only guy in Time Warner Arena wearing a blazer. But like most of the 14-year-old girls who were there that night, I knew the words. Thanks to the World Affairs Council for honoring me and the members of my outstanding team at UNC Charlotte, many of whom are here tonight. We're delighted to know that UNC Charlotte is seen by you as one of this community's greatest assets, with much more to do. LJ, I know that you, your staff, the dinner committee worked very hard to make this a first-class event. You've succeeded. Thank you. When I look over the list of past recipients of this award, which included, as you heard from Bob, the likes of Erskine and Crandall Bowles, Hugh McCall, John Belk, Smokey and Margaret Bissell, Jerry Richardson, Sandra and Leon Levine, and so many other important leaders in this community, I thought what you are probably thinking. How in the hell did Phil Dubois get on this list? Well, my path to tonight is far more improbable than simply an error in the counting of the votes of the selection committee. If you have to know the truth, the fact that is that my family circumstances growing up would certainly not have predicted that I would end up a college president, or that I would lead a university with such extensive international connections. In fact, my early life did not provide me or any of my two brothers with any international travel experience, except a long drive I once took in my Volkswagen Beetle when I was about 18 to go visit my brother who lived in Edmonton, Canada for a short time. The only time anyone in my extended family traveled anywhere out of the country was when my father went to Japan in the 1960s on a business trip. My mother had never, in fact, been to even New York until Lisa and I took her there when she was well into her 60s. And I will fondly remember that my mother's first morning in New York, she was greeted by a street person who mooned her. New York. It was my marriage to Lisa Louis Dubois that exposed me to the wonders of travel and other cultures. And as Al Simpson would tell you if he were here tonight, I seriously overmarried. And it has paid off. I would not be here tonight. I would not be anywhere without Lisa. Now, we never had a honeymoon, but eventually we took our first trip to Mexico, and I was in my early 30s by then. And it's because of that late start in my cultural education that I really feel so strongly about our young students getting an opportunity to study abroad as much as they can. I missed so much when I was young. As for that first trip to Mexico, I'm pretty sure that the Club Med at Playa Blanca was not a representative slice of Mexican culture. But it was a start. And I did learn that you could buy things with beads. Then Lisa took me to Alaska. Not a foreign country, but I could see Russia. So, over the course of our 40-year marriage, which we will celebrate on August 28th, we have visited nearly 50 countries, often with our three wonderful, adventuresome children, Logan, Taylor, and Allie, who are here tonight. And unfortunately, Logan's wife, Kimberly, cannot be here with us tonight because of business obligations. But we're taking Kimberly and all of the children on an Alaskan cruise this summer to celebrate our anniversary. They'll all be able to see Russia. We're also joined here tonight by Kimberly's parents, Debbie and Ed Scully, and Allie's friend, Oace Merchant. Thank you guys for being here. We're glad to have you. So wonderful that you're here. And let me make special mention of a group of colleagues from Kingston University in London, our oldest and most active international exchange partner. And I'd like you to welcome our Vice Chancellor, Julius Weinberg, and his colleagues from Kingston who are here tonight. Thank you, Julius, thank you. Both Lisa and I have to acknowledge the pivotal role that our dear friend, the late Harold Josephson, played in helping us get our international exposure. Harold was, as you heard, my Associate Vice Chancellor for International Programs during my first tour of duty in Charlotte as the provost. And he accompanied us on any number of trips to visit our foreign exchange partners in Europe and all the way to the Far East. That's also been the case with the current and wonderful Assistant Provost for International Programs, Joel Gallegos. Joel. Joel will accompany us to Bosnia this summer as we talk with our partners in Sarajevo about building upon that relationship. I'll note my debt here to Joel because he put my name in front of the nominating committee for this recognition tonight. So I owe you big time. Thank you. Our objective with all of these visits, of course, is to open new opportunities for our faculty and for our students, and we've had that kind of success. In 2005, we sent about 379 students on study abroad. This past year, we sent 675 students to more than 50 partner institutions around the globe, an 80% increase in students over the decade and a tripling of the exchange sites that we have. We have a lot more to do, particularly in terms of identifying scholarship monies to help our students travel abroad. If you want to change a life, write a check to send a student abroad. As you saw in the video, we also try to expose our students to the world here at home through our wonderful international festival, which will this year be held on September 24th. And we also have lots of international students who come to us. In fact, with over 2,000 international students, we are second only to NC State and to in the UNC system in the number of international students, and third in the state to NC State and Duke University in terms of the number of international students who study at UNC Charlotte. I'm going to always remember this night, and particularly the chance to show off a little in front of my kids, if only to remind them that one of the most important things that they can do for themselves and for their children is to send their kids abroad. In fact, some of my fondest memories of my children are associated with traveling with them or watching their foreign travels. And I'll talk about Logan first. Logan spent a high school year in Ecuador as part of a program called the Experiment for International Living, a program that Lisa insisted that he do because she had done it when she was in high school. And her experiment in international living was in Russia. So she actually got to be there. Well, based on what Logan gained from that Ecuador experience, we were confident he could make the most of a 2-week trip to Europe after his high school graduation. So off he set with a couple of his buddies from high school. Now, this was well before cell phones were invented, so the only way I could keep track of these guys was to watch the cash withdrawals from the ATMs as they traveled from city to city. That's when I learned a lot about my son's affection for international cultures. These boys spent 2 days in New York, 2 days in London, 1 day in Rome, 1 day in Paris, 1 day in Brussels, and 7 days in Amsterdam. It must have been the tulips. Now, you're going to meet our second son, Taylor, in a moment, so I'll skip to my daughter, Allie. And I'll tell you a little bit about her understanding of the world. On a family cruise to the Bahamas, Allie volunteered to be one of the subjects of the guest hypnotist at the evening entertainment show in the main theater of the ship. She was probably about 17. When she arrived on stage with several other potential subjects for hypnotism, the hypnotist took note of her very good looks and said, "Well, you're a beautiful young woman. Do you have a boyfriend back home?" And she said, "Well, yes, she did have a boyfriend back home." And the hypnotist said, "Well, I guess that means you can't have much fun on this cruise." And she said, "No problem. These are international waters." So, before I leave you tonight, I want to address one rumor that's been circulating in the last few weeks and even tonight. I've been approached by several people who congratulated me for the award tonight and also upon my retirement. There's no truth to the rumor about retirement, none. As long as as long as Margaret Spellings and my board of trustees still want me, I'm going to be around for a bit. We still have to open the light rail line, finish our fundraising campaign, build a science building. And I'm absolutely certain of. Lisa is not ready for twice as much husband for half the money. Thank you so much. We're very appreciative of your being here. We're honored by your presence. Thank you.